Micheal Franzese, once a high-ranking member of the notorious Colombo crime family, has undergone one of the most astonishing transformations imaginable. His journey from ruling the mob to following Jesus Christ is a testament to the power of faith and the possibility of redemption, no matter how dark one's past may be.
I'm at the top of my game. I'm my father's son. I'm mob guy all the way. Honestly, my dad was grooming me to one day take over the family. I mean, that's what he had. He had aspirations, and he was high enough to be able to make that happen at some point. And I wanted to be the best possible mob guy I could be. That's who I was.
I've never interviewed a senior member of the mob before until now. Micheal Franzese is a real-life former mafia boss, a lieutenant in a now infamous crime family who inspired a character in Goodfellas.
And Micheal Franzese.
Oh, that guy, yeah, I want to see him.
Then turned his life around and somehow lived to tell the tale. Well, Micheal Franzese has a lot of tales to tell. Your own father would put the mafia code ahead of his son's life.
Pierce, in that life, you got to watch everybody. We bring it in $7, $8, $9 million a week. God forbid you violate another man's wife, daughter, sister, mother.
What would happen if you did?
Death. A lot of people that I knew that I liked are no longer here.
Somebody one day may tap you on the shoulder.
I know that that's a possibility, yes.
Did you kill anybody?
I want you to take a real good look at me. I'm probably the most blessed, most fortunate person that's ever going to walk up on this stage and address you about anything. And the reason I say that is because had I been left up to my own to do what I wanted to do in my life, follow the path that I was on, I'd either be dead or in prison for the rest of my life.
Christianity, we believe that we're changed from the inside out. When you develop a relationship with the Lord, He's changing you from inside out. It's not your work on the outside that's doing it. And that's why it's so important to be nourished. It's so important to, to read the Word as often as you possibly can. You can never get enough of it. And hang out with people that have the same beliefs as you. And that's what's done it for me. I mean, I don't attribute it to my work. I think I'm probably the most fortunate, most blessed person around, because I should either be dead or in prison for the rest of my life. That's what I earned.
I'd either be dead or in prison for the rest of my life. And quite honestly, that's what I deserved. It's what I earned, having spent over 20 years on the street every day, and I mean every day, in violation of both God's laws and the laws of man. And I did it knowingly and willingly. I can't sugarcoat that. I don't blame anybody else. I don't blame my dad who brought me into this life. I was old enough. I made that choice. I take responsibility for the things that I've done. And I realize that if God didn't have a different plan and a purpose for my life, I wouldn't be here this morning. And He's made that crystal clear for me over the years. He had a different plan and a purpose for my life. And you need to know that God has a plan and a purpose for every one of your lives. You know, when you get a little older, you realize you don't come into this earth just to have a family. And I love my family as much as anyone. You weren't brought on this world just to have a career, to be successful, or to do whatever it is you're doing. You're here for a purpose, and that purpose is to serve God and fulfill His purpose in your life. And it doesn't matter if you realize that at the age of 9 or the age of 99. Whenever you do realize that, God will use the experiences of your life to fulfill that purpose. And I believe that my purpose in life is to be an encouragement to all of you. Because I will tell you this, if God can forgive me, and I do believe He's forgiven me. And the reason I say that is because He knows my heart. He knows I want to be forgiven. He knows I can't pull a scam on Him. I can't make believe. I might be able to fool some of you people here, but I can't pull a scam on God. He knows our hearts. And if I deny that I'm forgiven, then I'm denying the whole message of the cross. I'm saying, yeah, God, Jesus, you died for my sins, or you died for everyone's sins, but it wasn't good enough to clear me of mine. And I'm not going to demean what my Savior did on the cross for me. So I believe that I'm forgiven. And if He can forgive me, and not only forgive me, but give me my life, give me my freedom, give me a family, a wife that I adore, children that I love, a ministry that I never asked for, if He can do this for me, then He can, and He will do it for anyone. And that's really the message, people.
Excuse me, can you tell me where I can find Pastor Vinny's office?
Yeah, but you won't find him there.
Okay. Can you tell me where I can find him?
He's painting a fence. You must be that Dr. Hawkins. I recognize you from your picture in the newspaper.
Yeah, well, Katie, she told me a lot of good things about you, but you're not exactly what I expected.
Did your wife tell you what I really was before I became a pastor?
Is it important?
I don't know. You tell me. I was a wise guy.
A wise guy.
Yeah, a wise guy. Mobbed up. Actually, that's not what I really was before I became a pastor. What I really was? Inmate 09699-016. Federal prison, Lompoc, California.
You were in prison?
Do I stutter? Or aren't you wired for sound? Yeah, I was in prison. 10-year stretch. 3 years of that in the hole. Solitary. They gave me a Sony Walkman and a book to read.
And it probably wasn't one of mine.
Not even close. I read it front to back a dozen times. Even took notes. See, I didn't come to Jesus in any moment of epiphany. I didn't see a vision. I didn't hear a voice from above. Not like your wife. She's got a real gift of faith. But me, I'm a street guy. I don't buy into things too easy. You gotta prove it to me. I gotta see evidence. And you know what really got me?
I honestly haven't a clue, but this is one of the more interesting conversations I've ever had with a clergyman, so please continue.
The empty tomb. What happened to the body?
You may have lost me.
Follow me here. This ain't brain surgery. Jesus gets whacked, right?
Well, I've never exactly heard it put that way, but yeah.
Well, now you have. They stick his body in a tomb. They seal it up tight in a cement drum. What happens next? Bada bing. The body disappears. Don't look at me like that. The body disappeared. Now, if he resurrected, that's a miracle. Now, that ain't a little miracle. That's a big mother of a miracle. So the Romans, they got to find that body. Because if Christ rose from the dead, it's going to turn a lot of people into believers. And they didn't want that. And the Romans were Italians. Now, I know a little bit about that. When they wanted somebody to rat, they didn't mess around. They fried guys. They skinned them alive. They crucified them upside down. But nobody ratted out where the body was. Think about that. The disciples, not one of them broke rank. They went to their death sticking to that story. You know why? Answer me, you know why?
I have no idea.
Because Christ was resurrected. There was no body.
And I'm not going to demean what my Savior did on the cross for me. So I believe that I'm forgiven. And if he can forgive me, and not only forgive me, but give me my life, give me my freedom, give me a family, a wife that I adore, children that I love, a ministry that I never asked for, if he can do this for me, then he can, and he will do it for anyone. And that's really the message, people.